Well, morning. I'm actually going to show you guys Australia's national food dish shortly. This is a toss-up actually between roast lamb and what I'm going to show you. But you don't have roast lamb every day. You can have one of these every day. Some people have two or three. But it's quite interesting. You think it's interesting? I do. A lot of people don't know about Australia's national dish, and I wonder if some of you could guess first what it would be. That would be interesting. And some of you guess what Australia's national food is, national dish. Just going to make myself a cuppa. Hang on. I'm back. I don't know if anyone's here. Probably just me. But if you are here, say good day. And I'll show you shortly what Australia's national food dish is. In Australia, we eat all sorts of foods. You can go anywhere and have any type of food. Thai, Indian, Italian. Spaghetti bog is very popular here. We have a lot more meat with our spaghetti bog than some people in different countries. But the national dish of Australia, they do a census on it to find out what it is. And on one site it says roast lamb is the g'day Dream is the best, followed by, and here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Aussie meat pie. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, so in Australia people would call it, when they used to work in the building industry for a little while, smoker. So I'll show you the delicacies of eating a meat pie. Absolutely delicious. No, it's not kangaroo, but it is a meat pie. And I've been over Australia around several times and tasted some of the best meat pies you can possibly imagine. Some made with different crusts, different fillings. This is just a plain old mince beef. Yeah, actually, you go to some parts of Victoria, it's an old English tradition to have a meat pie with some mushy peas on top. And yeah, that's how they eat it. They call it a pie floater, I think, Dreamer. That is good. So whereabouts in the world are you people? Like I say, the Aussie meat pie is traditionally our meal. You can have it like now, mid-morning, afternoon, dinner with mashed potato, say, and booty, very common. But what is a meat pie for other people? I mean, I know a lot of Americans call them pot pies. We don't call them that, we just call them pies. Yeah, Dream's a Queenslander, a banana bender. I'm actually a sand groper at the moment, living in New South Wales, soon to be going back home. Dream. But we love our pies. You can go, most country towns will have a baker, and you'll have that smell in the air. And you'll find yourself on a counter with a whole array. This is actually a meat and cheese pie. Very delicious. But I wonder what people in the US would call their national dish. Dream. I love roast lamb, don't get me wrong, but we don't have it every day, as you know, because it's so bloody expensive. But we do have a pie whenever we please. What's the cost of what does a pie cost? Sounds like a religious question. What does a pie cost? Well, a pie cost is about $3 or $4 if you walked into a shop and ordered one. You make your own a lot cheaper, or you can buy some of the cheaper versions, which this, I will admit, is one of them. From one of the local supermarkets, probably costs you about $1 for a pie, which is pretty cheap. What's that, about 70 cents US? Mm. Yeah, a lot of blokes. And yeah, I got a friend in the US. She showed me biscuits and gravy. It's a weird setup. Ground beef, flour, and then they make like scones and call it biscuits and gravy. It would not be an Australian national dish, Dream, at all. It wouldn't happen. There's no way in the world it would happen. But we all different types of foods. I could be cooking Italian one day, Chinese, Thai, all sorts of things. We have shepherd's pie. I've got a few videos on my channel where I make them quite often. Actually, we love it. I like making mine with beef and ground beef, so chunky bits of beef that's all tender. Throw them in onions and garlic, plenty of peas, carrots, usually carrots on the side. Pate chenos. I think that's something I wouldn't eat by the sounds of it. But shepherd's pie we do, Leroy. Very common in Australia. I could make a big tray, like an oven tray, for about, what's mince beef, about $7 a kilo. Onions, garlic, mash. Probably about under $10. I could make a meal that would fill 8 people. And usually really tasty. I always put Worcestershire sauce and a bit of HP in mine, Dread. Just add that little bit of flavour. But I wonder what, Leroy, you're in the US, what would you say is your national dish? If you were pushed to ask the question. Leroy, what is your national food dish? Mine's a pie. Ah, of course. You're from Canada. We'll be up that way in about another 4 or 5 months. Got a good 2 or 3 friends in Canada we're going to catch up with. Yeah, I mean, a shepherd's pie is made with lamb. Most people will call a shepherd's pie even if it's made with beef. But you're right, shepherd's pie is lamb, and a cottage pie is beef. I am enjoying this. So Leroy, what would be, because different provinces in Canada will be different, but what would be your national food dish? If you said this is what most of us eat as a national dish. You're not going to say snails, eh? We eat them, but not very often in Australia. Mm. Beautiful. I know this is unusual, someone holding a hangout where I'm not attacking anyone, using anyone, alluding to a fact which is not true, because I don't do that crap. That's why there will not be 300 people in this room chasing their little junky hit of drama. No, I just have a pie and a discussion between people in different parts of the planet. Sort of conversation, be it one way. That is good. It's a cheapo pie from the supermarket. Poutine, okay. I don't know how many times people ask me, do you eat kangaroos? Yes, not often, but we do eat it. It's great when you braise it, make it in pies or kebabs or curry. It's very lean meat like deer, and appropriately, because it's so lean, there's not a great deal of flavour, to be honest with you. Although it's got a gamey taste like deer. We cull 60 odd million kangaroos a year because we have to. If we don't, the majority would starve in our droughts, which this state's still going through. Wife's come back. We're live on the air around the world. So hello. We've got a lady from Queensland there.
I'm in my garden. It's a bit of late. Morning.
So that is the national food of Australia. Touch and go with the roast lamb, but like I say, we don't have roast lamb every day. But pie you can make or afford to buy just about every day. Any given time during smoko, which is mid-morning in Australia, many people will go to different shops and get thousands of pies. Seriously.
Camera just switched around.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Well, it's I don't think rich. It's gamey, Dream, and if you get a roux that's from out the bush, it's better. Those kangaroos that eat grain and wheat and all that, they don't taste as good, for sure. Yeah, they're okay, Leroy. Give it a go, but if you're a bit worried, I'll give you the tip for people that want to try kangaroo but a bit worried. Get yourself some ground beef and half the amount of ground beef to half the amount of ground kangaroo. Mix it together. That way you'll get a taste that you're familiar with the beef and a taste of the kangaroo. Now, koala burgers, on the other hand, are illegal. Can't eat koala. They're protected. Kangaroos are not protected. Green waved at you and said hello. A lady called Green Weaver from Queensland.
Oh, hello. Just making a coffee. Oh, that's right. Made yourself one. Where's mine?
I didn't know when you're coming back.
That's right. Oh, okay. Such a delight.
Sugar tin.
I can see in the back of the bunker.
Coffee tin. We're getting exciting, isn't it, eh? Sugar tin goes back into the tray. I've had crops, Green, a bit like fish. It's different than fish, but it's a bit like fish. Yeah, not my preference. Mind you, I would eat anything if I was hungry enough. And in my home state, WA, as with yours, Dream, you know, crop populations coming down the damn coast, which means, you know, they say in 20 or 30 years it could be as low as Brisbane and in the west, Geraldton. So, don't know. Climate change is occurring. And I'm not going to get into that argument. Climate changes all the time. That's the planet's prerogative to do what it damn pleases. If we're mucking it up as well, well, so be it. But the planet's changed many times before humans were on this damn planet. So it happens, and it's going to happen and continue to change. Like the ice ages. I mean, we had ice ages before men were here, dozens of times. No, but that's the direct camera.
Oh.
What's just saying, why is the hangout one angle and the YouTube room another? Just because they flip it for some reason. I don't know why. Does anyone know why they do that? It's probably too early for most Americans to get on. Because most Americans stay up till about 8 in the morning, wake up at 4 in the afternoon and stay awake till 8 in the morning. Can't believe it. Most of the hangouts I get to see all the time are like 4, 5 o'clock in their morning time. They're vampires. That's what they are. They're bloody vampires. But a lot of them are getting pretty boring and predictable and all that bullshit and drama. I swear, I'm not going to do it. Dreamweaver's a lovely person, but if I started attacking Dreamweaver here and calling her names and in 20 minutes we'd have 100 people in there. And I don't want them. I never heard so much crap in my life that you get on these hangouts now, and it's like one woman saying, "Oh, she's a bitch," and the other one says, "Oh, she's a bitch," and all these stories, all these made-up lies to try and, I don't know whether they're trying to, polish their own ego, or if it's something along mental health issues, which I would probably lean to be honest. There's quite a few people on YouTube who suffer mental health issues, without question. We've recently had, last couple of days, I've seen the video where a man in a van has decided that unless he gets so many thumbs up compared to thumbs down, it will never be on YouTube again. Right. Well, he's got 1 billion thumbs down, so he won't be back on YouTube, will he? Right. We'll probably see him today. Yeah, they do that for a reason, I'm sure. Yeah, it doesn't make me anxious. Just, you can see what I'm saying, though, Dream. A lot of the arguments over nothing, just crap. Yeah, Leroy, but I mean, I'll say it, and I'll stand by what I say. He suffers mental health issues. Delusions of grandeur on many levels. He has anxiety and self-worth problems. He certainly does forever keep asking the same things. You'll hear Leroy, if you love me, you'll give me a thumbs up, or you'll donate. Those people who love me. Very sad, because obviously throughout his life, no one really has loved him, which is sad. I never wished ill upon him. I wish he would just get to the bottom and realise that there's a better way to live. Because the way he's living is through anxiety, direct poverty. G'day, Rosie. And I'm sure Rosie would back me up. If he could reach the bottom and realise that there's a better opportunity to live his life. Because it's very sad. When people keep giving him little bits of pennies just to keep him bouncing, like I say, along the bottom, you're being damn cruel. You really are. Well, I hope he gets the job. Look, I'll be honest with you, his health is horrible. He said something about possibly having diabetes. I guarantee you he's got diabetes. He's obese, bordering morbid obesity. His eating disorders are terrible. And like I say, he suffers from the fact that there's no one really close to him. Rosie is a friend. And I'm not being mean to Rosie, but she's not close to him. Rory is a friend, but he's not close to him. These are people he's met. They're not real, true, fundamental, valuable people in your own life you could lean on in hard times, genuinely. When you're not wanted anywhere, there's a reason. But I hope he gets this job. I find it unlikely, to be honest, because at one stage or another, some of you know I'm an ex-prison officer. Even though I worked in the psychology department, I certainly had to go through the same training as the rest of the people. And I can tell you that any physical training will rule him out. He huffs and puffs when he gets out of his van, which is sad. Yeah, but it's a good thing in one way, Rosie, that the bottom is very close and reality bites him. He's not a king. He's not an emperor. His empire consists of a tin can, a prison. That's literally what it is. You know what I'm talking about. It's a self-imposed exile from reality. The answer for him is to hit the bottom, realise, and if he's got to do it hard for a while, fine. There's nothing wrong with doing it hard. I've done it in my life. I'm sure many other people have as well. Unless you come to a self-realisation that there are major problems, and if he can work in a direction where his life gets better, financially better, physically better, psychologically better, because they all follow one hand in hand. You can just see to the left of me, Rosie, my wife's elbow. You're going to pop in and say hello to you now. But money's not the answer for a problem. Even in your own life, if you ran a business, for example, and it started to go bad and you're trying to do all the things you can and you get advice, the last thing you want to do is go to the bank and ask for an extension. If something's not working, stop doing it. It really is that simple. Yes, she is very beautiful, isn't she? My personal angel. She will be the cameraman shortly, Rosie, on our journey across Australia. Not sure what we're actually doing at the moment, but we are going across Australia.
I'll catch up with Vinny and Blinky.
Yep, we'll be catching up with Vinny and catch up with Blinky. Looking forward to that. I'll try and catch Vinny when he's sober. Vinny, can you see me? Yeah, look, we're tidying up the last bits and pieces here of what we had to do when we came here. And we miss our kids terribly. We've got 5 kids and 8 grandkids back in the West. And they're not here, so pretty tough. Pretty tough, you know. It's tough, guys. No, sorry. I was drifting for a moment there, but I stopped myself. Yes, we've got mice out in the bunker. This is the bunker, by the way. It's a limited pantry. Behind me, you won't see it, I don't think. No, you won't even see the door up. There's a little fridge, a little cupboard, desk, one of them small, big toaster oven actually, and a couple of burners. But we live in a trailer. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's a cabin. Hello, Jen. Well, it's on wheels, so it's got to be a trailer.
It's a trailer.
It's about 20 feet by 8 and a bit. It's got a queen bed and an office in there.
Okay.
Is that the case of the dingo attack? Dingoes do attack, believe me. They kill people in this country. They're about the size, 3/4 size of a wolf, a big dingo. But on the other hand, they've also been domesticated. So they're betwixt and between. They're a wild animal. A bit like some members on Voight, Rosie. A few wild Voight members. But I don't, this is just my view. I tire of the repetitive nonsense of dramatic entrances and exits of people who believe that they're being hard done by and world, oh no, when really if these two people that hate each other on YouTube met in real life, probably have a quiet drink together, a bit of a laugh, maybe a meal and shake hands and say, oh, you're a real human being, not just text and a character on YouTube. I think, Rosie, they miss the point sometimes. They're real people. And when you put something in text, it can be taken out of context. And some women, and I'm going to use the word women, is it sexist? Probably. But some women take it the wrong way. They don't digest what's been said, they just react. And there we go, World War III. And it's on, for young and old. Which is sad, because they will then spend the rest of the next 6 months fighting each other over something that doesn't mean a damn thing. I don't know the person involved, but someone had feigned suicide the other day, and I don't want to even bring names into this, but I've worked with people who call up and say, I'm going to commit suicide. They don't. They're calling up to say, look, my life's fucked. I'm in a place I don't want to be. Can you help me? They don't use those words. That's why they call you. So, and all the other nonsense that goes along with it's hearsay. Until something is factual, it's not real. It's someone who said something. And the Chinese whispers on YouTube are unbelievable. I could say Rosie's got 6 toes on her left foot. And until live, showing her left foot, 50% of the people would say, you're right, Seeds, I reckon she's got 6 toes on her left foot. See what I mean? I just made it up. But 50% of the people would believe me. And they'd be demanding, Rosie, unless you go live, I'm unsubscribing. I'm telling my constitutional elected member about you. But that's where most of these arguments come from. Nonsense. And I think the best thing to do, Rosie, in the future, if it can occur, is to actually get people to meet somewhere. A BoitCon, if you like. Just once every year somewhere, maybe 80, 90 people can get together. Those that don't even like each other at a neutral venue, and just realise that you're real people. See, friends onto you straight away. Just figured you've got duck feet. But I wish some people would take more time to digest what is being said. And reading things in context or out of context when it's written in a side chat can fire up people unnecessarily. Yes, we are dealing with a population of Voight who some suffer mental health issues. No question. Not even, I would go to court and win. They'd say, yeah, about half of them are mad, mate. But maybe not half. But it's when other people, you can call them enablers, they're actually codependents. That means when someone supports somebody's bad behaviour, not even with the intent of doing the bad thing, but just supporting them. They encourage the person with the bad behaviour to continue to do the bad behaviour. I'll go back to what I said earlier about when the man in the can who drives the van reaches the bottom, it's the best thing for him. It's cruel, it's harsh, but it's reality. And when people have stopped, and they have stopped supporting his bad behaviour by being codependent to him, some people like to stand on the stage and some people like to just stay off stage a little bit but still want the light of the stage to hit them. That's a codependent person wanting somebody's performance just a little bit back so they can't be seen on camera, but I'm there. So they've done most of the damage, and I'm pretty sure Rosie would agree with me again that when the bottom comes and as hard as it falls, he will have a better life. I don't hate anyone. I certainly do not like the behaviour where poor people are going to be affected by donating some of their money that they can't afford to someone who could work, have some self-esteem, because that's the poor old Zia suffers from, is low self-esteem. A lot of you don't see that. You just see the bravado and the anger and all that nonsense. But he's a scared, lonely, teenage-like mentality, thought process, and he's quite vulnerable. But the vulnerability can be lifted by self-esteem, in other words, by him. And in that last video where he says he's not coming back, he used the words about feeling good about himself, doing something. That's good. But the bottom has to come. It has to be reached. After he gets a change in his life, maybe it'll be a good thing where people can actually talk to him on a level. Because I'm sure if I sat around a campfire with him, just been given the task of putting 2 pieces of bread into the toaster. Oh yeah, we have a toaster in the bunker as well. I think you call that affluence, a toaster in the bunker. But yeah, I think it would be good when it comes, because no matter what job he did, it's got to give him some sort of lifting self-esteem. Getting back quickly to all the nonsense that's on YouTube. And I watch Rosie like a wicked old witch, and I don't mean that nastily. Sometimes having that big cast iron pot, she throws in that one, oh yeah, I'll throw that one in. She stands back and watches the bubbles rise. Yes, it's all in good fun, I get it. But the crazy people on here. No, it wasn't breakfast, it was a mid-morning smoker. I had a pie, I don't know if you saw it, Rosie. National dish of Australia is officially a pie or roast lamb, but we don't have roast lamb every day. A lot of people have a pie every day. Anyway, I'm sure there's somebody going to be firing up a dramatic, cinematographic, crazy hangout any minute now, and I've just bored you by having a conversation. You should try it sometimes, it's good. Oh, yeah. When you do come to Australia, Rosie.
No, bring us some home. We come to America.
No, not a Vegemite pie. Well, I'm going to lay it, because my wife has it paper thin on the toast. I have it in layers. Trowel. And then we'll watch you laugh and gear as you try and hit that. That'll be interesting. You need the butter? Got all the mod cons out here. Knives, butter. We don't normally live in a bunker, by the way. a mouse sneaking around the bunker. The little buggers are here. Too much, yeah. No, but it's coming up to the best time in Australia. We're heading back into summer because we don't like winter. Bitterly cold. I don't know if my transmission's that good. Being in the bunker, we don't have great internet, by the way. But if you can hear me. No, that was Vegemite. Dream. Camera's probably not good quality and. Yeah, we don't. I mean, might sound like real softies, but we've always had a mouse catcher which they can get in.
It's a humane one.
Yeah, and they end up in a little square box area, and then we go out the bush and let them go.
Usually they're filled with mice, but it's safe.
Yeah, they're not mice.
They're native mice, and
yeah.
You're actually not allowed to kill them.
Well, flies, however, and mosquitoes, which we don't have very much of either, which is great. I'll kill them. Noah has a lot to answer for. Think about it. Oh yeah, bring a couple of mozzies on board. Yeah, a couple of flies. Come on, patio room. Go and sit on the elephant's ass. Really? Why would you take mosquitoes and flies on board the ark?
Because they're food for frogs. It's all part of the.
Well, forget the damn frogs. Leave the frogs off with the flies and the mosquitoes.
It's all part of the ecosystem.
Toaster vision. Yeah, no, I couldn't figure that one out. I want you to build an ark 300 by 100 cubics to make room for the flies and mosquitoes.
Well, the fish were fine.
Well, fish didn't have to go on board, did they?
No.
I'm not a great believer in Noah's Ark. I don't bash Christianity, don't get me wrong. Seriously, if you've got all of the animals on the planet, 2 by 2, you probably need about Queen Mary's.
Dinosaurs?
Minimum. And the dinosaurs tend to get lost in religion. You know, I've even had some particular religious groups say, "Oh no, dinosaurs and man coexisted." Really? Yeah, Queensland toads, cane toads. I used to live in Darwin, Drink, so I know all about cane toads. Mama Bear unedited. Hello, how are you? Mama Bear's there. Probably wants me to sing live on national television to her.
Who's here?
But Rosie's here, so if I was going to sing to anyone.
You were doing drawing the other day with Mama Bear.
Yeah, but I just couldn't keep up. I drew a watermelon in the end. So while I've got a couple of Americans here, what would you consider to be your national food dish? I'm curious, because in Australia, all around this country, you'd get people say pie, meat pie. So in your part of the world, in the US, well, no, it needs to be in their area because America's about the same size as Australia. Me, if I was guessing, I'd say Americans would answer spaghetti or something like that, or pizza, or some other fast food. I hope McDonald's is not your national dish. So Rosie, what is you consider your American national food dish? What would it be?
Remember there's a delay.
12,000 miles away. Lamingtons. Yum. Actually, Rosie should cook them one night.
Oh, yeah, Rosie, do lamingtons one night.
Yeah, very simple.
With cream and jam in the middle.
Rosie reckons hamburger, hot dog. That's good for the arteries. Lamingtons are quite simple. They're a sponge. They're coated with liquid cocoa. Yeah, is that what you end up making, like a cocoa paste? They're covered with coconut, desiccated coconut. Mama Bear says fried chicken noodles, potatoes and vegetables.
They put jam and cream in the middle.
Great country. Seems like everything in America is fried. All over the kitchen. There must just be vats of oil waiting to be used.
No, those are too far behind them.
Yeah, Aussies eat takeaway food, but most Aussies will cook their own meals. I know our daughter at one stage so busy with work, her and her husband, that they were getting, what was the name of that company?
Light and easy.
Light and Easy. You know, packaged meals dropped off each week, and you can take lunch and your dinner with you and all that. Didn't look that good. Cost a fortune too, about $10 a meal. Oh, I love mutton. Give me a mutton any day. I love it. Better than lamb, actually. Says country. I'm a vegetarian as well, country. I only eat cows who eat grass. Mama Bear has streak. Streak. Is that a new form of food, Mama Bear? I used to laugh at the analogy about I'll buy you a steak dinner. I mean, steak's pretty cheap here. You can have it every day if you wanted to. We don't. Would you reckon we'd have a steak maybe once a week? Maybe.
You do.
I do, yeah. But it's not that, it's cheap. I mean, you can buy rump steak for about, for Americans, about $4 a pound. So it's not that expensive here.
Lamb.
Lamb's quite expensive. You can buy 4 little lamb chops, about $15. Very expensive. Yeah. I was curious to know what people consider their national dish, because in Australia, ever since I was a kid, it was pies. Then Italian food was quite big in the 80s, but literally the pie has survived the test of time. So without question, I can unequivocally tell you that the national dish for Australia is still the meat pie. Though we eat all sorts of foods, but we don't fry a lot of food. If we do, it's with very little oil. Yeah, lamb is very expensive, even here. We export the bloody things. But very nice. Some people in America have never had lamb. I know that because I've known loads of Americans over here saying, oh, probably not, they wouldn't have lamb. Oh, big question, Dreamweaver. And that's another product you can make, Rosie. Big test for you. Make a pavlova. I believe the New Zealanders created it, and I think the Australians perfected it. That would be the best way to describe it. Oh, easy one for me, Leroy. Leroy asks, what food did you eat as a kid that still reminds you of home? Pea and ham soup, which is a smoked ham hock, boiled for a couple of hours till it falls apart, with some yellow split peas thrown in, nothing else, and boiled again for a little while, or simmered. It is unbelievable. That what reminds me of my childhood. When I was a boy, I lived in the UK, all around the world actually, but the UK mainly until I came to Australia in 1969. 1859 apparently. And we would have lots of, well, not stews, but broths with pearl barley and marrowbone. I know my mum would go to the butcher and ask for 2 or 3 marrowbones, just bones, flecks of meat on it. G'day, Aussie. But even my grandmother, she had one of the old coal fires in the kitchen, a massive big pot on the back stove all the time. Hello, Sonny. And that pot would never move. And I'm not kidding, was added to it the next day. Something else was added. So you go there, I kid you not, pot has not moved, but it's brewing something for 6 months. Always used to taste good. Always grew our own veggies as a kid. Potatoes, cabbage, carrots, onions. Didn't see garlic until I came to Australia. Garlic was never big in the UK. Never heard of it until I came to Australia. And I love it. But it's the source of life. Food obviously can kill you if you eat too much crap food, but it's a source of inspiration, flavours. That's what I'm all about with my cooking. It has to taste good. It doesn't necessarily have to win a Nobel Peace Prize for beauty, but as long as it tastes good. Good food does that to you, makes you feel good. Comfort food, if you like. Simple, basic foods.
Like liver and brain and that.
Yeah, liver and brain. I mean, you've all eaten them, probably without knowing them.
I grew up on
If you've had sausages, you've eaten all those. But when I was a kid, we'd have liver. Cooked properly, it's okay. Not something I would dash down to the butcher and say, give me a slab of lamb's liver now. What time is it where you are at the moment? Here in Eastern Australia at the moment, it's 9:45 in the morning. I was curious as to what time we're in different parts of the world. Nothing wrong with oxtongue.
Yeah, I grew up on that.
Oxtail?
No, I grew up on all that stuff. Brain.
A lot of my family used to make brawn. Uncles, aunties, you go around and the bills, always different textures and flavours. And it's made out of all unmentionable products. It tasted fantastic. It's 9:45 a.m. Dreaming it, same time as me. Actually, Queensland and WA are the only two states that literally told the federal government to shove it up their ass for not doing daylight saving. It happens everywhere else in Australia. They push the clocks forward this weekend or next weekend. West Australians and Queenslanders say we're not doing it. Really?
Laughing at that one.
My grandfather made the best stews until I came home as a child and seen an ox tongue hanging out of the pot. Well, just don't look.
I came home from school once, opened the pot, and there was a friggin' pig's head in the pot because Mum was making brawn. Oh, that was it.
Wife's mother, who passed recently, there's some funny stories. The one that they raised a pig and rabbits to eat. I mean, people did it tough in Australia. So you grow vegetables and raise your own animals. I've done it. And the wife's mum got this pig to the right stage, and across the road was a guy who could butcher. So he said, I'll butcher it for you. So he took it over, butchered the pig and the rabbits, and no one could eat it.
No, we probably take it back. We couldn't eat it.
I'd have eaten it. I'd eat it for sure. But one thing you never do, if you've got chickens that you're going to eat, don't name them. Pigs, don't name them. Just say piggy. And rabbits, I used to eat a lot of rabbit as a kid. It was quite common. But so Leroy is called date. In Canada, my home.
Well, actually, it is. We have made it good. Actually, it's a stage down from glamping, different than camping.
Everything's concrete here, so that's why I call it the bunker.
We're actually in the barbecue area of the shed.
Yeah,
be the barbecue area.
It's not our home. I will show you in the future. And it's a bit better than the bunker, do you think?
Yeah.
We don't have a below ground pool in the bunker, for starters. But that's some of you guys. Curious to know, do you hold passports? I think Rosie already answered, yes, she does. But how many of you hold a passport? Pretty movers says she popped out an egg in front of her and then she picked it up. It's hot and soft and mushy, and she could never eat eggs again for a year. Well, I've raised my own pigs chickens and eaten all of them. And the eggs, kids, when my kids were young, they got a bit of pocket money because you need a license, and each kid could have 20 chickens, and that means that license was only a couple of bucks a year. They could sell their eggs, and they used to raise money for their schools and themselves sometimes. But they would get them up, rake out the chook pen and wash it down, clean up the nests, and yeah, so we had about 100 chooks at one stage. But there's a huge difference from pulling fresh vegetables out of your garden as well. I won't harp on about it, but I've done it all my life. If you eat the produce you grow, you only grow the things you eat. You know, often people will say, I want to try and grow artichoke. And I say, why would you want to do that? Do you eat them? They go, no. I said, well, go and buy one from the supermarket, try it, and then tell me whether you want to grow an artichoke. You do. You need a license in Australia. For the last 40 years, that's been in place. Very little, costs very little.
If you only have a couple.
Oh, yeah, a couple. But if you're going to sell, the only reason you get a license is to sell.
Yeah. You're not allowed to have them in the suburbs in your backyard.
Oh, they've still got them.
Depends on the size of your yard.
Yeah. A lot of people have a couple of chickens run around the backyard and they don't have a nest. They just make a little burrow in between plants and they call that home. That's still pretty common. Chickens, for some people, are just pets. They would never eat them.
Yeah.
But not many people probably most of the people I've met here on YouTube don't grow their own food. Few do. I've put my hand up. Few have said they do. Most don't. Most buy their food and just work hard and don't have any time, but can spend 22 hours a day on the internet. Maybe you did have time to grow veggies if you got off the damn internet. Well, I don't like staying on Hangouts for too long, as people probably know, and I've been on here 47 10 minutes. Well, then you're fired. No, I can't sing. I sang once to Sunny, but she didn't like it. She didn't do anything in the comments, didn't say anything, so I broke my heart, basically. Well, I've sung a couple of things since, but never heard Sunny sing. Have you heard Sunny sing? Oh, we have in the car.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, it's good. What else? What's happening today? Is this going to be a drama-free Saturday night on YouTube where there are no arguments, no fights? That's right, anyway.
Yeah.
Good on you, Dragon Lady. See, the problem with me when I buy vegetables, where were they grown? What was used on them? Man, I swear to you, the only chemical that's ever used in my vegetable gardens is garlic and chili pesticide spray. That's the only thing that I use. And I don't have to use it all the time. If you start seeing a bit of infiltrate, a bit of white caterpillar bugs flying around, just spray 10 minutes, they go, whoa. It does kill some of them, but it literally deters them, moves them on. And using man-made chemicals is a disaster. I remember years ago, Roundup's terrible. And to give you an idea of what I mean is for about 30 years, Monsanto's Roundup said biodegradable, which it's an accumulative there all the time, doesn't biodegrade at all. And so you just build up this chemical level, which ends up in your food. Been watching the Kavanaugh mess this week. I don't even know what a Kavanaugh is. Probably a person. But I don't. Anything to do with drama, I may make a fleeting passing through, but I don't hang around. It's utterly boring to me. People who don't know each other arguing about things they don't know about for no reason at all, but to polish egos. There's my ego. Oh, my ego's a bit dull. It needs polishing. Praise me. Praise me. So, you've come to the most boring hangout on YouTube because there's no drama. So I think I might close it down. First of all, I may just slowly strip and take all my clothes off. No, I'm just kidding. I was kidding. All right, until next time. If you're bored again and you happen to be passing, from my wife, it's goodbye. And from me, it's goodbye. Have a great night. Avoid the drama. Drink a little bit of alcohol. Don't overdo it. Too much. Because I'll send Ellie upon you. And then you wish you hadn't done anything. Bye-bye.